So let's settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Have both feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart, and your shoulders align with your hips. Excuse me, and your ears align with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light, and it stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. Then go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the tongue, the jaw, the ears, the back of the head, the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Notice of the sensation of the breath as you inhale and exhale. And just allow the breath to anchor you. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just check in with yourself this morning. For some of you, it's morning. For some of you, it's day. Those of us in the US, it's different times of the evening. So just check your mind. Is it different than it was 12 hours ago? What you're seeing, about what you're seeing in there. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't really like, and try and remember that these relationships can be interchangeable. They're all equal. So you might like one person one moment and then not the next. Didn't change how they're equal, which is that they all want to be happy, they don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So I think we do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it and create positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret, and we sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And so we can't bear the thought of any more future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly about people you've harmed recently, and maybe in the past, and then perhaps in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time, and that, we don't remember, of course. So then remember, or think about those who've harmed you, not only in this life, but other lives as well. And just have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So, make a strong aspiration to do this practice for all these people of our life and think, I must purify for their sake. And then now we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sutokaya meboa, supokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempiyatsa sawa kama sutta me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajrama me mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left, and overflows quite strongly. So you imagine all the gossip, the harsh speech, all that kind of negative speech, gossiping, talking about other people behind their backs, and all our sort of speech where we lack wisdom, inappropriate speech. And imagine all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sutta me. Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Triyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, even yourself. So next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine, this happens as instantly as when you just turn on a light in a dark room. So the light from Vajrasattva's heart kind of pours into you, hits your heart chakra, and immediately all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, your neediness, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, depression, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Triyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Triyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe, Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasafa Dina Patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So you imagine all the nectar flowing down and pushing out all the negativity of the body, and then the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light coming and just blasting all the delusions. So in this way, even the subtlest imprints of negative energy are eradicated from the mind. Samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hom pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with your body and speech and mind. So, without making a decision like this, we're just going to keep following our delusions and the same old patterns and continually creating more negative karma as we just think, just, are reactive towards things. So, sometimes it's best as a way to refrain from harming is just to keep your mouth shut. And maybe, just think over the weekend something you'd like to work on. So maybe just not saying anything for the time being is the safest. Of course, if you're seeing something that's really wrong, you speak up. But I'm talking about just regular delusions here. Sometimes if you aren't totally clear with your enormous wisdom that what you're about to say is going to be beneficial to the person who hears it, then maybe it's best not to say anything. So imagine Vajrasattva now, delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So let's dedicate or meditate a little bit on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. So of course the IMI is still running the chanting the names of Manjushri. So if you so wish, you guys, you can check out their website and join in tomorrow morning. With youthful form unique unto all worlds, the elder senior father of all beings, adorned with 32 auspicious marks, most beautiful, most handsome in all worlds. The teacher teaching mundane good and knowledge, the teacher to all beings, most confident, the world's most trusted guide, protector, savior, the refuge unsurpassed, the guardian, with rich enjoyments filling all of space, the knowledge ocean of omniscient beings, while smashing through the shell of ignorance and breaking through the cage of cyclic life. It's always so sweet. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend and lots of love.